and safe. Taiwan is ridiculously safe.
Hey guys, today's video we have a guest.
Yes.
You guys can see James Wong.
Yay.
Hey guys, we're gonna interview him and what his life is like in Taiwan. First, James, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is James Wong. I'm from England. I've been in Taiwan for 5 years now, and I actually do a lot of things in Taiwan. I'm a parkour coach. I model in TV commercials. More recently, I've started YouTube, and also I teach English.
So, since we're in Taiwan and we've been enjoying it a lot here, when did you move to Taiwan?
So I moved to Taiwan about 5 years ago.
Right.
Wow. Maybe 5.5 years now, yeah. But that wasn't the first time I came to Taiwan. I actually came to Taiwan the year before. And that was partially just to see how it was. And I'd like to visit somewhere before I move there.
So why Taiwan and why did you move to Taiwan? Is it because of love, work?
Oh, culture.
We probably need a little bit more backstory. So my dad is actually from Hong Kong.
Right.
He moved to England when he was 11 years old.
Oh.
So he himself is quite westernized in a way.
I see.
So there's always been like this Asian, Cantonese, Hong Kong like culture in my life, but maybe not that strong. So I don't speak any Cantonese.
Oh.
Right.
I speak a little bit actually because I learned by myself last year.
Oh.
But
Wow.
I don't like know any Cantonese because of my dad. My dad speaks like perfect. He probably speaks better English than I do.
Wow.
So there's always been that influence. Like we celebrate Chinese New Year, and he would tell us like certain traditions that they do, but it's not been that strong in my life. So in 2014, I quit my job. Previously, I was an aerospace engineer.
Really cool.
Yeah. And then I traveled around Asia for 1 year.
Nice.
And it was supposed to be just 1 year and then go back to, that life.
Right.
But after 1 year, I was like, I don't want to go back. I want to stay in Asia longer. But people are like, you can't just keep traveling. You got to find work.
Right.
So
yeah.
I applied to be an English teacher because I enjoy teaching. So teaching English is something I was interested in. I thought I could try. So I applied in Hong Kong, and I just didn't get any responses at all. But I also applied in Taiwan.
Okay.
And China too. But yeah, I didn't really fancy working in China. Preferred Taiwan. And eventually I got a response back, and so I moved to Taiwan to A, teach English and see how I enjoy like teaching in the classroom, and B, just to become more culturally like Asian and Chinese, learn the language, learn how people live their lives, see the culture, and just like experience it.
In our case, it's more a little bit of just, experiencing going to the temple, like as simple as that, or, there's little Taiwanese traditions that we experience every day that I never knew existed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's very nice. It's very nice. And I feel like with those, like experiencing those with her family, it's something like just increases the bond between my future in-laws, I guess.
Yeah.
So what did you expect moving to Taiwan?
Funny enough, I didn't expect a lot. I think like a lot of people in the West, we don't know Taiwan.
Oh.
Did you feel that as well?
I knew of Taiwan.
Right. I feel like Canada and Taiwan have like...
Oh, 我们很 close.
Yeah,
They have closer relations.
Yeah, so like anyone, like they would advertise Taiwan as a working holiday, like it's a good option. It's very loose, like in terms of the restrictions. Like I can go, I can go to Taiwan easily, like visa free.
For me, like I'd never even met a Taiwanese person. Or I've probably heard of Taiwan here and there, but I didn't really understand like, what it was, what its relation was to China or anything like that. And it's still, you probably experienced this when I left. People were saying, have fun in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. People say that.
Some of my friends are like,
It's not even a joke. It's real.
They thought Taiwan is Thailand.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because to them it sounds similar.
Like Thai something.
Yeah, and it's in Asia.
Yeah, and do you speak Thai? I said no.
It's like, no.
It's different.
It's Taiwanese, not...
Yes, it's not Thai.
Yeah, it's not Thai.
But didn't you feel scared when you decided like really move here?
Not really so much. I was scared when I left to travel for a year. That was kind of more unexpected because I didn't have a plan. I never planned for anything.
Right.
I haven't even planned these answers.
Good enough.
So that was more scary because I didn't really know what was going to happen. But for Moon's Taiwan, I had a job in place, and I knew they were going to find me a house, and I knew I'd meet people.
Right.
And the weird thing is when I on that plane leaving England with my suitcase, I never felt like I was moving country. That never kind of hit me. Like, oh my God, I'm no longer going to be living in England.
Yeah. Do you get homesick?
More recently, yeah. I think I miss a lot of my friends and family.
Yeah.
That's the things you can never replace in Taiwan.
For sure. So, living in Taiwan for about 5 or so years now, and you grew up in England. What are the biggest pros and cons between both countries?
That's a fun one.
I feel like everyone says his answer, and Taiwan is just so convenient. Convenient, safe, and clean. It's like it's Taiwan, isn't it? Do you not feel that? Do you not think so?
I feel like it's cleaner than most countries. Like,
是吗?
Yeah. Despite the fact you guys don't have trash cans anywhere,
Yeah.
it's still very clean.
yeah. I think people like keep their garbage rather than like throw it on the side.
Yeah.
Like I think it's more of the attitude towards community. I find that like really big here. Like I don't want to like litter because someone else is gonna see it, and then if everyone litters, it's gonna be like a dirty city.
But I thought England is also clean.
Which part of England were you in? You were in Bath, right?
Yes, Bristol, Cardiff.
Maybe you were in a nicer part of England.
That's very.
There are some areas which are not so clean, and probably some that are quite clean as well. But I feel like Taiwan as a whole, despite whether you're in like a nice area or a not so nice area, it still tends to be quite clean. And of course, convenient.
Convenient, yes.
Taiwan is just super convenient for everything, and safe. Taiwan is ridiculously safe. Like you can just. I'm sure you worry less about your camera gear.
Oh, here, yeah, definitely less.
Yeah. Like if I'm in a coffee shop or wherever and I've got my laptop or even my phone, I'll probably just leave it on the table, go to the bathroom and come back and not really worry. It's still there in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Like that's something that's never gonna go away from me. And yeah, I found when my wife is Taiwanese, when we visit other countries, she's so much less careful than I am. And I'm always like, be careful your phone, keep your passport in your bag, keep your bag on you, think about it at all times. And she's like, la 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 la, put my bag here, I'm going to see this waterfall, and like, yeah.
I think I've told you that before when we were in Toronto. And I was like, be careful with your bag. Like, don't just like dangle it around.
Yeah, like why are you being so cautious?
Put it in front of you.
Yeah. Don't put anything in your back pocket. People just take it out if they get the chance.
So it's not just Canada or America, you're also in England.
I would say it's almost every country except Taiwan, Singapore, and Japan. Maybe some European countries like, I don't know, Switzerland or something. I also feel like in Taiwan, I have more opportunities. But I never modeled when I was in England. I started modeling when I came to Taiwan and I was doing TV commercials. But if you want to do that in England, you have to be part of like a group. And you have to have like experience and background. Then people have to submit you. It's not just like anybody can do it. You have to have the proper, I wouldn't say qualifications, but perhaps a license or something like that.
Oh, that's really
interesting.
hard.
Yeah. And I just feel like there's more kind of like freelance opportunities. So I've done a little bit of video and editing work in Taiwan as well. And again, I don't think I'll be able to have the same opportunities in England. There's the same with teaching parkour and of course teaching English.
So did you have any like did you grow up with kind of two different cultures? I think you mentioned that.
I would definitely say my English side is a lot stronger. Probably because my dad himself became quite westernized. Speaks with a very British accent. He drinks a lot of tea and follows football. So in those aspects, he's probably more British than I am.
I see.
I was in a predominantly white high school, so everyone there was white. I was the only Asian guy, even though I'm half. So at that time, I really kind of wanted to be white and I wanted to be like everybody else. But then after I went to college, there was a lot more like people, not necessarily from India, but their parents are from India or from Hong Kong and stuff like that. And at that point, I started to realize that having two sides isn't a bad thing. I could mix and match. I could be Asian when I want to be. I could be white when I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I kind of embraced that. And I looked at things like, Bruce Lee and how awesome he was. And, that's really cool. That's part of my culture. And Chinese food is so awesome. Like, everybody loves Chinese food. My dad is actually a chef, so I get really
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we get a lot of good Cantonese food.
Nice. Did you get some recipes off of him?
I can cook a little, but,
Next video will be this. James Wong cooking.
Cooking with James. New series.
Cool. One thing I will point out is, so in England, I'm like the most Asian guy in my city. I'm super Asian. When we go to an Asian restaurant, all my friends will be like, "One James, I'll give you the menu. You can order." But when I move here, like most Taiwanese people don't even believe I'm half Asian.
Yeah.
They directly
They
think
don't.
you're
Like, they
British.
think I'm lying. Some of them accuse me of lying,
Wow.
and I'm like, why would I lie about that?
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Oh.
They just see a Western face. They just think I'm completely Western.
Oh, so no more menu for you.
No more menu. No, I'm giving the menu to other people.
When you're in England, can people directly tell that you are half, or they will?
I think most people can tell. Yeah. Just like most people could tell that you've got like ethnic background. When I go to Hong Kong though, they can tell.
Oh.
They can tell straight. I say it to them and they're like, yeah, duh. Like it's the most obvious thing ever.
Oh, okay.
So it honestly depends. Like I think in Hong Kong they've probably seen a lot more mixed people. They're probably used to it. In Taiwan, maybe in the next like 10 years you'll see a lot more mixed kids coming up.
I think so too, yeah.
你会说中文啊？
我会一点，
你怎么学的？
怎么学？
一点。
你要我说中文吗？
都可以。I don't want to push him too hard. Up to you.
So when I first came to Taiwan, I tried to self-teach myself.
Okay.
For a year, and it was super hard. I don't count that year. That doesn't count as starting learning Chinese. And then after a year of teaching, I stopped and I went to Shida, which is a language school in Taipei.
Yeah.
师大。
And
the Mandarin?
yeah, for
center?
Mandarin.
Yeah.
So I studied there. I did the intensive course because that's how I am. I just like all
Go
or
for it.
nothing. Yeah. Which in hindsight was probably a bit too much for me. The first 3 months was fine. I loved it because I've kind of like self-studied. I kind of already had that background. But when it came to the second 3 months, the second book, suddenly the teacher didn't speak a word of English. And all of my peers was like, leaps and bounds ahead of me. And I just felt so behind. And I feel like maybe my hearing kind of put me at a disadvantage. And I should have accounted for that. So my second 3 months, it was 4 or 5 hours every day, I forget, plus homework. And every day we had tingxie, which is dictation. So every day we had to learn 15 new words. 15 Chinese
Every
characters.
day.
Every day we had tingxie
Writing.
for 15 new characters.
好疯哦。
And it was literally like, okay, I remember these characters, did the test, next day I'll forget those characters, learn new characters. It was like in one's like out the other.
Oh.
It wasn't
that's
proper
tough,
like memorization.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. So, but the funny thing was, if I did all the tests, like the written tests and the grammar and writing the right characters and whatnot, I scored pretty badly. I scored like 50%. But when I went out with my classmates to a restaurant or whatever, I was the one who was always speaking. I was the one, talking to the waiter and ordering the food. Because all these like the Japanese and maybe the Indonesians, they're like a bit more shy.
Oh.
And they're very book smart. And they can pass the test and I know exactly what to do in the grammar paper, sitting down situation. But in the real world, that's kind of where I shined.
Oh.
Nice. Okay, last question for you.
Okay.
Is there one thing that you're still not used to in Taiwan?
There are many things actually, but one thing that kind of stands out are scooter drivers.
Scooter drivers?
Yeah. Do you drive a scooter in Taiwan?
Well, just out
Remote
on
island.
the islands,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because I've lived in Wanli. Do you know Wanli?
知道。
Which is in the north near the beach. And now I live in Taoyuan, so you need a scooter. There's no way you can get around without a scooter. And scooter drivers are just,
Crazy.
especially, I mean, it's just in comparison to our home countries. When you see them just like whizzing around, not using their we call them
Traffic
indicators.
lights?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. The
We don't use the
signals.
indicator or blinkers or whatever you
Yeah.
call them, and just genuinely just doing whatever they want, like going onto the sidewalk, cutting across corners, and I have to do a few breathing exercises before I get on the road.
Do you get stressed? Like, do you feel relief once you get to your destination?
I enjoy riding. I think it's really
Yeah.
nice. It's just I don't enjoy other scooters.
Have you been to South? They're more horrible.
I've been to Pindong and I genuinely got angry.
Oh, really?
I was just like, I can't do this. Just get me off the road.
Because they're super fast and they don't care. They just like,
Yeah.
Even when like the pedestrian crossing, when it's your like for you to cross, at least in Taipei they give way, right? They let you cross. In Pindong and in the south, it's kind of you can cross if there's like no scooter
one,
coming. If there's a scooter coming, you better watch out.
Yeah, for sure. I actually have one more question for you.
Sure.
What can they see on your channel?
Mostly I talk about culture differences in Taiwan, but generally I'm just trying to give my experience and my thoughts on things happening in Taiwan, whether that be culture difference, things in the news, or anything like that really.
Well, thank you so much for coming in to our video.
Cool, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
And if you guys have any questions for him, feel free to comment down below. Or just head over to his channel. Ask him on one of his videos. We'll see you guys
in the next video.
Bye bye.
好了啦。
Cool. All right.